All right, let's dive into something that many are calling the honest-to-goodness holy grail of energy storage. We're talking about a technology that could completely reshape how we get around, and it all boils down to what's going on inside the battery.
No, really, just stop and think about that for a second. What if you could pull up, plug in, and be fully charged in the time it takes to grab a coffee? No more planning your day around charging stops. This isn't some far-off sci-fi fantasy. It's the very real promise of a technology that's just around the corner.
You know, for all the incredible things about electric vehicles, there are two words that just hang in the air for any EV owner. It's this constant hum of stress that keeps a lot of people from making the switch. So, what are these two words? Well, they get right to the heart of the single biggest problem for electric vehicles today. So let's just name them and get right into the weeds of what's causing all this frustration. Yep, range anxiety and charging time. One is that nagging voice in the back of your head on a long trip, and the other is the soul-crushing wait at a charging station. You see how they work together? They're the 1-2 punch that's holding EVs back.
But why? Why are these even issues in the first place? To get that, we need to pop the hood, so to speak, and look deep inside the batteries we're all using right now. Turns out, there's a hidden culprit, a single component that's at the root of all this.
It's all about something called the electrolyte. The easiest way to think about it is like a superhighway for energy to travel on inside the battery. And here's the key piece of the puzzle. In the lithium-ion batteries that power pretty much everything today, that highway is a liquid.
And this, right here, is the fundamental change we're talking about. We're on the verge of moving from a liquid to a solid. Now, I know, that sounds almost too simple, right? But that one little change in material, it has absolutely massive consequences. So what's so bad about this liquid? Well, for starters, it's flammable, which is, not ideal. It's also pretty heavy. And when it comes to vehicles, extra weight is always the enemy. But the real kicker is that it fundamentally limits how much energy you can safely cram into a battery. It's a bottleneck.
But here's the exciting part. What if we could just get rid of that problematic liquid entirely? Well, that's exactly what the solid-state revolution is all about. It's about building a foundation for a safer and way denser energy future. A solid-state battery is pretty much what it sounds like. It takes that flammable liquid and replaces it with a solid, super stable material. We're talking about a thin, stable slice of ceramic or even glass. It's not flammable, it's light, and it just completely rewrites the rules of what a battery can do. And the performance boost from this one change is just wow. Because that solid material is so much more efficient and stable, you can pack in way more energy. How much more? We're talking about double the energy density. Twice the power in the exact same amount of space.
Okay, so twice the energy density sounds impressive, but what does that actually mean for you, behind the wheel? Well, this is where it gets really crazy. The numbers being thrown around are promising to just completely erase those two big problems we talked about.
Let's start with range. We are looking at a potential of 745 miles. That's about 1,200 kilometers on a single charge. I mean, that's like driving from New York City almost all the way to Chicago without stopping. Range anxiety wouldn't just be reduced, it would basically become extinct.
And what about the other big one? Charging time. The goal, the number everyone is shooting for, is a full charge in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That is literally the time it takes to fill up with gas and grab a drink at a convenience store. It's not just an improvement, it's a total game changer.
And listen, this isn't just theory anymore. This is a full-on race. Major companies like Toyota, along with specialized firms like QuantumScape, are pouring billions of dollars into this, working around the clock to bring these batteries from the lab onto the road. This is happening.
So let's just lay it all out, side by side. When you look at it this way, it's not even a fair fight. Across every single category that matters, how far you can go, how fast you can charge, how safe it is, how much power it holds, solid state is just a monumental leap forward.
So what happens when you solve the two biggest problems holding back a technology? You don't just make it better. No, you potentially unleash it, allowing it to completely displace whatever came before it. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. If you completely get rid of range anxiety and those painful, long charging times, what's left to complain about? The biggest reasons people hesitate to buy an EV could just vanish.
And that, of course, brings us to the ultimate question. If an electric car can go farther than a gas car, and it recharges just as fast, all while being safer, quieter, and more powerful, what's the argument for the gasoline engine anymore? We might be on the verge of finding out.